Hello?
I'm stealing all of our clients. I'm starting a new business.
The words seeped through the phone like the poison they were. I felt the effects. My eyes glazed over, my heart slowed to beat, and the angry emoji started beating around in my head. I can't believe you haven't noticed, but I've rewritten all contracts with our subcontractors. I mean, really, you should have noticed. There were about 10 more words that she fired off, but I stopped hearing. I hung up the phone while she was mid-sentence. What the actual f***? The next 10 hours were a roller coaster of emotions. While I took on an endless series of phone calls to family, friends, employees, the words were true. My heart was broken. My back was bloodied. The first true betrayal I've ever experienced happened, and I never spoke to her again. Still haven't, and most likely never will. I absolutely did not know it then, but this was the best thing that could have happened to me during this time. Let's give it some context. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I was put here to do two things: create and inspire. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. I started my real estate photography business in 2016. I built it from the ground up until 2018. It was growing. I was excited. My girlfriend at the time was super unhappy working with her family. And I had this crazy idea. What if we worked together? I could teach her everything I know and we would grow twice as fast. Welp, that's what happened. I taught her how to talk to clients, marketing, photo, video, design, editing, and everything I knew. We continued to grow until its peak, with the business making about $15,000 a month, which for me was huge. We had big plans and I was in charge of moving the business forward. The big vision, while she handled a lot of the detail work. I handled certain employees, she handled others. We found a balance that seemed to work on the outside looking in. On the inside, we had a toxic relationship with each other. She would leverage my passion for the business against me during disagreements and arguments, which usually led to her literally running away in the middle of very large projects, leaving me and the entire team hanging. She never truly felt the pressure of keeping the business up because it was ultimately something that I'd created, something that I cared about, a piece of my dream. Here's the kicker. Things started to shift when I ended our relationship in 2020. Though we had worked through a lot, the toxicity was just too much for me. There'd been too much damage to undo. I couldn't do it anymore. I thought we could still make it work, but 3 months later, my worst fears came true. She did something that I thought she would never do. We had agreed to still work together under our current business model, but as the days went by, there was so much anger and resentment coming from her. It's all I could feel. So without consulting me, she created a new company, manipulated our highest employee on the totem pole, lied to our current clients saying that I was on board with the rebrand, hid the truth from lower level employees, and ultimately convinced herself that everything she was doing was okay. I was left standing alone in the dark to rebuild in a new city again. Long story short, I did rebuild my business, and I was on my way to 6 figures in the first year when I decided I wanted to continue to chase my dreams and move to Los Angeles, California, which if you follow this channel, you follow me, you know I did that in September of 2021. Since then, I've lived in LA with someone that builds me up and fits with me in ways that I didn't know that someone could. That's Knockland, which if you follow this channel, you know a little bit about our relationship. After a year and a half of reflection and work, I now am grateful for not being in the same situation I was. It was a separation that needed to happen. Of course, not the way she made it happen, but it still needed to happen. Sometimes we have to let go to grow, and that's what I did. If I wouldn't have let go and moved on, I would have been stuck fighting for something that I had outgrown and for people that didn't really care about me or the big vision that I was building, but mostly they just didn't care about me, which sucks. With every story, there's each person's side, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth. To try to alleviate any falsehoods here and be completely honest with you and myself, let's talk about the mistakes I made that led to this. And to be completely clear and honest, I most likely did not handle this situation the best way by just hanging up on her and never communicating with her again. That type of betrayal, I don't think was something I was ready to or able to emotionally deal with in a healthy way, that's for sure. And maybe if I was at a different place, maybe at the place I am now, I would be able to communicate in a way that could, I don't know, alleviate some of the betrayal part. Maybe we could have communicated and worked on a way to split amicably. But yeah, after hearing the way that she said those things to me, the best way to describe it is it was just purposely hurtful. I'm wanting to say evil, but I'll just go with purposely hurtful. I just couldn't, and I didn't want to communicate with any of the people that were involved in causing that kind of pain to me. Why would I want to communicate with people that really just don't care? I mean, that's the bottom line. They just don't really care about myself. They're really out for themselves. And hey, it is what it is. After a year and a half, I think I can finally say that I wish them, it's mainly two people, but I wish them both the best, and I hope their company, if it's even still around, which I'm sure it is successful. And yeah, I, in my heart, really do want them to be successful. And then to go a step deeper, yes, do I want them to be sorry for the way they did it? Of course, gotta be honest with that. But I wish them all the best. First mistake that I made, not building the right team. At this point, I'm a little scarred by the idea of building a new team. When I started growing initially, it felt like a free-for-all of anyone I knew who needed a job. I wanted to help them. I wanted them to help me. I wanted them to believe in me and the vision I had for the growth of the company. For the most part, I was able to pitch the vision, but the problem was the people. I'm not saying this to bash every member of my team ever. I've had some fantastic team members. I've had some team members that I feel like I taught a lot and then kind of let them go to fly away. I've had team members I really care about. But the reality is my false need of having a team and wanting and craving a team allowed me to be blinded while I was hiring. Because honestly, at $15K a month, I really didn't need a team. That's the first thing about that. But I would ignore faults and red flags just to get someone on board. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I want people who want to work with me, who I don't have to convince. They see what I'm doing and they want to be a part of it. With this mindset, I will much likely have much fewer team members in the future, but the ones that are there, this word keeps coming up, the ones that are there will care. That matters to me. Second mistake I made. This one may seem obvious. No contract between me and my girlfriend. Bad mistake. Honestly, I do not know how much this would have helped the situation. I am no lawyer and I will not pretend to be one. I heavily considered taking her to court for what she did, but based on what the people around me, aka my wisdom team, told me, it didn't seem like it was a viable option or really worth it considering my financial situation. And after this happened, I pretty much was left broke. You want to believe that you'll always love the ones that you love now, that they will never hurt you, but it's just naive to think that nothing bad will ever happen to you. Things change, people change, relationships change. In the future, for me, there has to be a clear contract. No matter what, it's not a bad or good, I mean, it's a good thing. Just let's have a clear contract. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't mean I don't trust you. Just people and things, relationships change. Just to prevent the worst case scenario and encourage a friendly departure. Like Nike says, just do it, please. Number 3, not investing in relationships of the team. This one kills me and I wish I would have done a better job. I was just so young and immature, and my ego, because I wanted to create freedom for myself so bad that I neglected building relationships with my team. Not that I didn't with some of them, but I just didn't the way I should have. And I hate that. I set myself up for failure on this one. The simplest way to put it is that I had my girlfriend do the majority of communication with employees, especially our head employee, over the course of 2 years. Not to say I never chatted with him, but she did way more. When things started to fall apart, their relationship was stronger. Half the time I was right beside her while she had these conversations, but he just didn't know it, which I think just creates this impression that maybe I don't care as much. which sucks. And even more than that, half the times I'm telling her how this conversation should go and sticking up for not only him, but other employees too. Like, I'm really steering the ship here, but I didn't do it directly, so it just doesn't come off that way. He trusted her and believed her twisted narrative of what was actually happening behind the scenes, to the point where he blatantly hid things and denied wrongdoing. He was brainwashed, and it was too late for me to do anything. She also communicated mostly with our subcontractors, but honestly, they probably would have listened to me as well. They were kind of disconnected, but it really doesn't matter. What I'm saying here is I should have been a better leader. I accept that, and I will learn from that mistake. I will be in the future. My hope is that in the future, no one will invest more in my team than me. I want to make the time. I want to have conversations with the ones that care. I want to support them and help them more than I ever have before. As a business owner, I think this is everything. It's not just fulfilling, but these relationships lay the foundation for a great company. I thought I knew that before, but now I really know. Number 4, choosing the right partner. I don't say this to be salty or hold resentment. I say this because I don't really think that I chose my partner. It just kind of happened. She needed a job. She was right there with me, and I had vision and opportunity. It was exciting, and to be honest, it probably became one of the only reasons we were together after a while. It consumed us. It helped us forget that we weren't really a great fit for a romantic relationship until, well, it sometimes reminded us. In the future, I'll think much more carefully when deciding to go into business with someone. I'll look for stability, level-headed emotions, passion, vision, humility, the ability to listen and debate without yelling, and so much more that we can go into on another day. The bottom line is I will choose wisely. Number 5, last but certainly not least on this list, growing too fast. Since this happened to me over a year and a half ago, I've realized that I shouldn't be too hard on myself for letting my business get to this self-destructive point. I was so young when I started. I was 23, and I was just incredibly stoked. Everything was new, moving so fast. It was too fast to think about everything above. And my emotional intelligence, though it was pretty solid, was not near where it is now. I didn't know how to deal with these gut feelings that would birth these mistakes. From 2018 to 2020, it was just this whirlwind of growth. I went from literally no money for gas to paying people over $5,000 a month. Or more sometimes. Too fast to stop and think, at least for me. Some people get lucky and already have this amazing team. They never have to stop growing or fail to learn how to run the right business. But I did, and that's completely okay with me. I'm not 100% sure what the future holds or what my next business will really be. I have a general idea, but the universe always surprises me. I just know that I'm incredibly thankful to have the experiences of pushing through extreme emotional and physical blockages. I'm thankful to not be in the same place or surrounded by the same people. I'm thankful for the betrayal, the lessons, the pain, the emotions. It has made me my best me yet. I hope this helps someone out there. My name is Cole Connor. I am an artist and entrepreneur. If you have any questions about maybe how to work through something like this, or if this helped you or inspired you in any way, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission, like yo. Shaking up your city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold. Cold won't stop till you sing my song all the way home.